Hi everybody, my name is Jessica and this is my channel Plant Hooker, and it's bake day today. Now I have a wedding to go to tomorrow. I know, a wedding on a Tuesday. Well, this video is going up on a Saturday. I forget which Saturday. It'll be like weeks from now. Because I have a stockpile of videos and I had the day off today, so I was able to get this done. Now the wedding I'm going to is my ex-husband's niece. I'm not invited on her side of the family. I actually got invited on the groom's side of the family because the groom is the stepson to my godfather. So that's the side I'm going. So this will be I still get along with my in-laws. A lot of his nephews have been good to me. Even some of the nieces. I still go to birthday parties for his nephew's kids, so we all still get along. So, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember which one, whether it was the bride or groom that loved my blueberry pies. So I'm making blueberry pies today for them. So they'll get a whole pie, that way they can share it amongst themselves with their two kids. They have very beautiful kids. Love the red hair. So, first thing you want to do is you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 170 Celsius. I have it written down somewhere. What's this? No. I've been writing in the corners the Celsius so that I don't forget, but then I forget to put it someplace else. And I forgot for the blue, but it's not 100, it's 177 degrees Celsius. So once the oven is preheating, we are going to mix the crust. Now, because I'm making two pies, one is for them, one is for my boys, because they like blueberry pie too. So let's bring you in, put you down. Let's get you a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, so this is 2.5 cups of the Einkorn flour. This is the original wheat. This is the ancient wheat. This is the wheat that we evolved to eat. This is the wheat of Ramses the Great, Julius Caesar, and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ himself. So this is 2.5 cups of the Einkorn flour. You can use the hybridized wheat like the Robin Hood or the all-purpose or whichever. It is entirely up to you on what you wish to use. Because I have stomach issues, I have to use this. And you'll want to add in 2/3 of a cup of coconut oil. You can use shortening, lard, or tallow. It's entirely up to you. I prefer to use the coconut oil because this is organic coconut oil. Mostly because with shortening, you're still going to get hexane and deodorizers that are both carcinogens and neurotoxic. Not only the other preservatives that they add into it. So I just prefer to use this stuff. Lard and tallow. Well, lard I think still has some preservatives in it. I know tallow doesn't if you can get it fresh enough, but I prefer to use the coconut oil. Yeah, and it's just simply mixing it all up. Oh, and if you're wondering why I'm wearing gloves, I don't want to cut my nails because I want them to be somewhat long, and so I can paint them for the wedding tomorrow. Like, I'm not invited to the wedding. That's a private ceremony that they're having amongst themselves. but I am invited to the reception. So, and I would like to have some nice long nails, so. Yeah, I have a nice purple dress that's about mid-calf with long sleeves that I'll be wearing, along with the same shade of purple nail polish. I also, like as you've seen before, I dyed my hair. I can't remember if my hair was dyed in the last video that you would have saw, where I repotted my moth orchids. Sorry, words can be quite hard sometimes. Yeah. Now you want these to look like a little crumbly. Almost kind of like if you were starting to do biscuits. Because then you're going to add other things and then it'll start to firm up. Alright, now the next thing we're going to add is the salt. Now this is 1 teaspoon of the Celtic sea salt. You can use table salt, other kinds of sea salts, Himalayan pink salt. I prefer to use the Celtic sea salt because it has 3 magnesiums and can actually help your body absorb water. So does Baja Gold. That's another really good sea salt that does, but I find it's a little more expensive than the Celtic. Himalayan pink salt has 2 different magnesiums, but depending on which company is mining it, you can sometimes get heavy metals in it, which isn't always the best. And table salt, nobody should be eating because that's one of the main reasons why there's so much high blood pressure. But your body does need salt, just not that kind of salt. And then the last thing you'll want to add is 8 tablespoons of water. It's just plain water that you get out of your tap. And you're going to mix this up until it really forms a dough ball. I have tiny hands, so even though these gloves are size small, they're still big on me. Okay. Now you're going to want to have a clean surface. This was cleaned, like I put vinegar on it and scrubbed it. And spread down a little bit of flour. There we go. And you're also going to want to have 2 pie plates, lightly greased, because that's where these are going next. And you can separate this into 4 sections. So here's 1, and then 2, 3, and 4. Spread it out in the flour. Next, you want to get a rolling pin. Yeah, I know, I didn't have it ready earlier. What else is new? So, everybody should have a rolling pin. They are great for baking and for punishing your husbands. No, I don't encourage violence. But I'm sure everybody has seen those cartoons where, you know, the wife like smacks her husband with the rolling pin over the side of the head. Or a frying pan. I've seen that one. I think I need a tiny bit more flour or dough in this one. This one didn't have enough. Unless these plates are bigger than what I'm used to getting. Hopefully I'm not putting in too much flour. I want the dough to be nice and moist. Grab the wrong one because you want your bottom dough ball to be bigger than the top. This one is going to be covering a lot. There we go. It's still not quite enough. So what I will do, yeah, I did grab the wrong one. Your extra pieces, you can take those off and put them elsewhere. Or did I not make enough dough? I could have sworn I had the Einkorn flour you need more of than the hybridized. I'll just make a note to make sure I keep this pie and not the other one. Okay, and then set it aside. Now to roll out. Actually, let's do the big one. So your top piece doesn't need to be as big as your bottom again. And that's what I did wrong. I grabbed the wrong piece. Oh, and every now and then you're going to probably hear my kids either singing or screaming in the background because it is Easter Monday and they are home from school. And voila. That's what I did wrong. The top piece and not a bottom piece. Oh, and Angus wants in, of course. He always picks the worst times to go to the door and cry. Right back there. Make sure this is all even. That we don't get no air pockets. It looks like there's a tiny one there. Okay, so I'm going to pause you and go get Angus. Okay, now it's time to make the filling for the pie. So I'm going to take you over here. So what you're going to need is 4 cups of frozen blueberries. These are organic blueberries. Mostly because I use organic because, well, at this time of year it's hard to pick any fresh ones, and we already ate all the ones that I picked. Because here in Canada, the type of pesticide that they use on blueberries, I know I'm butchering the name, either chloropham or chlorophyll or chlorophene. It's one of those kinds of pesticides, and it's really bad for kids because it can actually interrupt their DNA and can cause quite harm to their growing brain. So I prefer to not use those types of blueberries and just stick to these. They also use it on sweet potatoes, raspberries, and what was the other one that they used? Watermelon. So that's why this summer I'm planning on growing my own watermelon. So you want to take 4 cups of frozen blueberries and mix in 2 cups of sugar. Now this is organic sugar. This is the Tbsp brand. It's from a company that's on the mainland and called a place called Crust. Now mainland, again, here in Cape Breton, everything that's not Cape Breton is called mainland. Or the rest of Nova Scotia is called the mainland. I don't know why, it's just been like that since as long as I can remember. And you want to mix these all up. Cover the blueberries. Now, the next thing you want to mix in is 6 tablespoons of flour. This is still the Einkorn flour. And what this will do in here is it'll help absorb any of the juices so that way the pie is not leaky. And you just do that. And just mix her up again. and make sure it's very well mixed, because if you don't, then you'll get like lumps and bumps in your pie, and not many people like that. Okay, and then you're gonna bring them over to here, to your pies. Let me get my tripod to stand where it's good, right there. And then you're gonna evenly distribute everything amongst the bowls. It's okay if it's overflowing because it will all sink down once it's baking. There we go. All right. And now to take you back to here. A little more flour. Roll out your dough again. Try not to get too much on you. Okay, and then you're going to place it on your pie, like so. Take off the edges, push down. Switch these out. Okay, and we're gonna go back onto this pie. Very rarely do I have leftover crust, Sometimes people will make like a big crust batch and then freeze whatever they have left over. This, I'll probably just put on a little pan once these are done and just bake for a few minutes and then give it to my chickens as a treat. Okay, now, before they go in the oven, you'll want to get a fork. A wet fork, of course. And you're simply just going to push down on the edges. This will help to seal the pie. So hopefully the blueberry juices don't leak out. If that does happen, it's not the end of the world. It just means you gotta clean your oven after. It won't ruin the taste of the pie at all. Okay, and then poke a couple of holes in the top for release. So you don't have any pressure. Okay. Voila. And then we take them and we put them in the oven. There we are. And you'll want these to bake for 45 minutes. Voila. And there. Okay. Once they're done baking, we'll be back and take them out. We're back. The pies are done and it's time to take them out of the oven. Oh, they look good. Doesn't that look scrumptious? It's going to leak a tiny little bit in the corner there, but it's still good. And I have the rest of the dough that's for the chickens. Okay. Now, before we can cut into them, the pies need to cool for at least 14 minutes. Yes, pies take longer to cool than cookies and cakes do. Because if you cut into them too soon, that juice will be like really liquidy and whatnot. So you have to let them cool for longer than normal. So then that way the flour and the sugar and even the pie crust can absorb some of the juices and then it's actually not so bad. So we'll be back in 40 minutes. Okay, it's been 40 minutes and now it's time to taste test the pies. So this one leaked the most, so this is gonna be this is the one that stays for the family and that one's the one goes to the wedding. So we're gonna cut her up. Let's bring in a little bit closer so you can see. Please forgive whatever noise you may hear in the background. That's my kids. I'm going to grab me this piece right here. I forgot a fork. Okay. So now we're going to try the pie. You can't beat a good blueberry pie. Only add some ice cream to go with this. And it would be perfect. Now, I can see the juice is still on the runny side. The pie is still quite warm. But if you don't mind the runniness, eat it. It's great. You can like pour it out and pour it on other things. But if you really don't like the runniness, you can toss it in the fridge for an hour after it's set for 40 minutes, and then it'll be perfect. Crust is the right flakiness. Yeah, so I may get copyrighted because you can hear the TV in the background, which I asked them nicely not to have on, but nobody wants to listen to me. No, I love blueberry pie. So, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, you can always give me a thumbs down. Everybody has a right to their opinion. But if you really like the video, subscribe. And as always, live long, bake on.